So this Arizona Lou guy, 830 shows in 45 states. That's not too bad. Microphone kind of crapped out there too, didn't it? I heard it that time. So Lou, when he comes up here, I'm gonna have to let him know with a wink. He's been in 4 countries and he's a retired school teacher. Hails out of Phoenix, Arizona. Also been referred to as America's favorite old man. I could probably call him a friend now, but I'm glad to have met him. Hey, my friend, your friend, Arizona Lou. Come and kill it. Be funny, baby.
Hey, thanks. You might have to turn the mic up a little bit because I have a weak voice.
I will do my best.
Okay, cool. Hey, I want to thank you guys for coming out and for coming all the way over from there to here. Hey, I want to thank you for letting an old guy up here. You ask, how old? How old? Ma'am, I don't think you said anything.
How old?
Hey, I'm glad you asked. 77.
Holy! My friend.
In comedy, we call that a sympathy applause.
It's kind of like George Carlin, aren't you?
I'm older.
You're older than him?
Yep, yeah. I used to try to impress people, but I know better. Can anybody here beat 77? Let's hear it by applause. If you can beat 77. Okay, cool. I'm so old, I was born in MCM XLI. See, you recognize that as Roman numerals. I always have to explain it to people from Fargo and New Jersey. Can you give me more mic, please? When you get a chance. And yeah. Well, let's start with one.
I think I'm sitting in the front row and I'm having a hard time hearing.
Yeah, up the mic a little bit. Anyway, I do have a weak voice, more about that later. But, you know, when I was a kid, that's all we had. Not West Fargo, not Fargo, but the Roman numerals. Back then when I would dial a number, I'd get Roman charges. We had a whole new different meaning for XXX. Now, some of you need to watch a little less porn. Or in your case, ma'am, probably more. Sesame Street. I'm to the awkward age where I worry about what's going to fall off next. And I'm not even Caitlin. If I'm lucky tonight, I'll remember what I want to say. If you're lucky, I'll forget. Or maybe wander off somewhere. Da, 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 da. Silver alert, silver alert. You people are so awesome, I want to invite you to come and spice up my funeral.
Oh, yeah.
Too late. It was Sunday. I make up for my waning. I just hope I don't wander off to Chicago. Did you see there that murders are up 72% over last year? Shootings are up too, only more. Obviously, they need to take more gun classes, improve their aim.
Yeah.
I did comedy in the new murder capital of the U.S., St. Louis. And I was kind of disappointed I didn't collect any bullet holes. I mean, that's not funny, is it? I make up for my waning physical prowess with my superior senior stupidity. I know why you're not laughing, because you know all about that stuff.
Been there.
Yep. Every generation has had people that are stupid, and some people became famous for it. Well, when I was a kid, we didn't have the Kardashians. We had the crazy mountain man. Hey, I climbed this mountain during a thunderstorm and talked to God and brought down these 2 rocks, and you people were so disgusting. I smashed them, and they were important. I don't know how they could have been important. They didn't say anything about West Fargo. Anybody know who that was? Yeah, Moses. He was gone Sunday school. That wasn't the worst part. I gave him directions. He didn't pay attention and went out to the desert, got lost, wandered around for 40 years. You know, some of you know about that. But the thing that puzzles me is, how did he get a whole bunch of people to follow him for the whole 40 years?
Hey.
Yeah, so if you're 20, you would be 60 years. Yeah. And, well, you'd think someone would say, hey, I want my kids to graduate from the same high school, so I'm not going to follow this guy anymore. He wasn't as bad as the guy that got lost 4 times on the wrong continent. Yep, you know who that was? Well, he said to the people that were sponsoring his trip, hey, I'm going to go somewhere. So he went there, he thought, but he was lost. He didn't even get there. Went back home and said, hey, I went there. They sent him to do it again and again. Yep, that was our Christopher Columbus. Of course, he didn't pay attention when he went to Genoa University. Couldn't navigate by the stars. Then he had trouble with his OnStar. They never get that in Fargo. And he never could hold a heading. Well, holding things is, my mom used to always say, Louis, hold your horses. Of course, then it was cool your jets. What do you say nowadays? People, be patient. Maybe chill, take a chill pill. Or maybe don't have slow your roll. Don't have a rack attack. Calm your tits. Or if you go to Hawaii, Hakuna your tatas. Let's hear it by applause if you're a grandparent. Yay, grandparents. Yeah. Oh, and sir, back there wiping your mouth. Yeah. What's your name? Bill.
Yeah,
Bill, glad you came tonight. And where do you live?
West Fargo.
West Fargo. Okay. I need to explain something to you, Phil. Phil, is it?
Bill, yeah.
I was going to Phil. Blah, blah, blah. I need to explain something to you. I asked for an applause. This doesn't cut it. An applause takes 2 hands and makes noise. Yeah, see here? I knew he'd get it. And when you get back home, explain that to everybody else in your neighborhood.
We're all here.
Well, all right. Hey, we got some smart Alex. I like you guys.
No, he's right. You're all there.
We're all here. These are our neighbors.
Well, this, talking about holding things, this is the way I held my first grandchild. All it took was 10 seconds to me understand crazy grandparents. Of course, there's other ways to hold grandkids. This one leaks. Or one person knows about that. Here, mommy, stinky baby. But when they get older, you can hold them this way. I hate ceiling fans. But I don't know how this is related, but I've got t-shirts. And all profits go to the VFW post here. And if you want one, they're $10. They're over there. I only brought 6 with me. And also I've got other stuff. I've got pictures. Oh, pictures! I'll sign it if you want me to. Everything's $10. And if I sign it, it might be worth $5. And I've got hotel room key. And I've got, these are little thumb drives, USB thumb drives. And on this drive is a bunch of my shows I've done across the country, little list on the back. And this is equal to 2 DVDs. And some comedians sell the DVDs for 20, 30 bucks. Well, these are still 10 bucks. Or it's equal to 11 CDs. So if you want one, I've got them over there. I'll take cash or card. And all profits, like I say, will go to the VFW post. So appreciate that. So get one of these. Or if you get one of my t-shirts, after 5 years, depending on how my comedy career goes, you might have something worth 12 bucks. You guys are good at math. Or you might have something good for Stinky Baby. You people are a lot of fun. Well, this is my first time to do comedy in Fargo, West Fargo, sorry. My first time to do comedy in North Dakota. I got that one right, didn't I? And I'm so excited I'm about to pee in my pants. Or did I? I forgot. You know us old guys. Only the front row will know for sure. These tables. Sure glad they came. In fact, you people at the back are smarter than we thought you were. Like they say in SeaWorld, ladies and gentlemen, during tonight's performance, the front row might get splashed. And that's disgusting. Not you people, these people.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, there's some things I don't understand. Do you know what a Juul is? Juul? It's a vaping device. Well, I didn't know that. I was hanging around a restaurant with some comedian friends, and Bill belted out, "Hey, Avery, get your hands off my Juul." Well, all I knew about was the family jewels. Yeah. What was Avery doing? And poor Bill, he only had one.
Good man only needs one.
And what was he doing with it up on the table? Well, I don't understand why they make the backs of TVs black. I got a new TV that's hooking. Plugging in my equipment, it's like plugging a hard pin into a black hole. And then you get the wrong hole, you say, "Oh, I meant to do it that way." Some people aim for the wrong hole because they like it that way. We're talking about, of course, San Francisco there. Yeah, you got kind of say, "Oh yeah, this is PG 13.7." Well, I don't understand why Sony put such crappy keyboards on their computers. I blog. I just went to the Dominican Republic. The computer left out the K, and it actually written the Dominican Republic. There goes my reputation. Yeah, after that Stinky Baby joke. Well, is there a bottle of water over on that table? Could someone bring it up, please?
I got you.
Okay, cool. All right. No, there's right on that table by the T-shirts. There's a bottle of water.
Well, I think
Yay!
you went out to get a fresh one.
I don't care fresh. Water's water. Thank you very much. And your name is?
Josephina.
What? Thank you.
Olina? Here he comes, your friend.
Oh, yes.
We got it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Chris.
Oh, snoozing that.
We got a spare. Cool. Well,
As long as you got to play an hour longer.
yeah. Got to go for the water. Well, I emailed my daughter that I just got booked for 3 minutes at Harrah's showroom. She said, "Sorry about Harrah's, Dad." It left out the K, And I've actually written, I just got booed for 3 minutes. And I have a Kindle, and I don't understand why Kindle, I got a book. I don't know why they call it the hardcover edition, because there's no cover. And how can it be hard when the book's software? Of course, some of you can identify with this. Nothing about this body is hard. Ever. How come you ladies are laughing? Well, one thing in the morning, first thing in the morning, it's real hard getting out of bed. I sort of roll out onto the floor. But I'm holding something. It is hard. It's about 6 inches long. If I was black, it probably would be 8. It's red on the tip. Don't ask me how I know that. It's mostly round. So you guys aren't laughing. Why is yours perfectly round? You're disgusting. It's what's inside that makes it useful. I'm talented. I can spin it around. I can also blow it. In fact, I'm so talented, I can blow it at the same time I hold it. Gwen, this isn't dirty, it's clean. I washed it today with soap. Lots. Let's hear it by applause if you want me to pull it out of my pants right now. How come you're pointing to her? Let's hear it by applause if you don't want to see it. Back there, where's your commitment? You didn't applaud either time. Well, if you don't want to see it, hold your eyes on 3. 1, 2, 3. Man, you're peeking. This is an anemometer. The magnets inside spin around and register the wind on your cell phone. It's good for kiting, flying kites, sailing, and stand-up comedy. Here, you want to blow it? I won't tell anybody what you just did.
I spit on it.
I am participating in a study by Stanford University of posture. Thank you, sir. Posture and pain. Well, I need a little less pain, like some of you, and I need a lot more posture. Well, the guy got down by my pelvis and inspected it real carefully. No, not that way. He says, sir, your left pelvis is higher than your right pelvis. Oh, no problem. I can take care of that. Oh, and sir, you don't have the proper S-curve in your back. You need to do that. Well, I can take care of that. Oh, and sir, your right butt cheek needs to stick out further to be even with your left butt cheek. Well, I can take care of that. Oh, and sir, your shoulders are rounded. You need to hold them back more. Well, I can take care of that. Wow, what's wrong with that old guy? I don't know, but he sure has good posture. I got my last colonoscopy. Let's hear it by applause if you've ever gotten a colonoscopy. Do it. It saves lives. But, see, that's a good thing to leave on, the colonoscopy. There he goes.
You gotta pee.
I got my last colonoscopy, and when you reach my age, they quit giving them to you. I guess they figure you're so close to gone anyway, it won't matter. But I decided to do it without an anesthesia. And so there I was, laying on the table on my side in the correct position, facing big screen monitors. I had never seen my butt on a wide screen in high def. I tell you, I have the butt of a 30-year-old. Well, I tried to prep. The prep is very important. I tried to help the doctor prep a little with the usual way and also using a butt plug, trying to kind of open things up for him. He explained to me that he was using some numbing gel before he went in with his probe. Now, why did he do that? Why not use regular gel? Wouldn't it have been a lot more fun? Well, his probe kind of looked like a snake that he could control. And picture it functionally, it was more like a little tiny train that goes through a tunnel. And on the train's a big headlight. Also the air hose to inflate things around the tight corners. Also a garden hose to wash things off. Also a shop vac to clean things up with, and a camera. And as he went in, he found a polyp, just one, a little tiny thing. Couldn't have been found otherwise. So he yanked it off. It was sort of like picking mushrooms, except one mushroom. And when he was done, he says, okay, now you can pass gas. Because he pumped me full. I don't know what's funny about that. That usually is my talent, but I couldn't do it.
Wait a few minutes.
Wait a few minutes to be able to do it. I do try to be healthy. I got a hold of some string beans that were so stringy, by the time I finished them, I'd already flossed my teeth. But I don't take supplements like creatine. Let's hear by applause if you go to a gym. Anybody here go to a gym? Okay, good. Do I need to explain to you what I explained to him about an applause? Congratulations on going to gym. I went to gym, and have you ever noticed those guys at the gym with those great big muscles have little tiny... Those guys with great big muscles have little tiny thumbs. Oh, this is an adult group. They all have little tiny dicks. Well, I have little tiny muscles and a great big microphone. When I'm sure glad you came, sir. You have a big microphone also, don't you? When I go to Walmart, I don't park close. That way I can stir up my tired blood as I run in for a few things. After I made that selection, I was running back to my van, and a kid said, "Hey, old man, how come you're running so fast?" Well, you would be too, son, if you've been shoplifting. String beans. Also, went to a gym, and I recognized the equipment from the gym. All they did is add logos and foam pads to machines from when I was a kid during the Spanish Inquisition. Now, some of you are, anybody a historian? How many years ago was that? About 650 years ago. Well, have you ever noticed from pictures back then that the naked subjects on the rack always had a little white towel covering just the right spot? I was the towel boy. Hey, don't stretch them out yet. I've got the towel here. Let's hear it if you want me to do it. Well, come on, let's hear it. All right.
Better didn't have cameras.
Oh, I forgot. He was black. I like you guys. Well, you know, when I was a kid, if I wanted some from agony, I'd go say, I'm going to go down the dungeon and visit the Inquisitor. Nowadays, you do weird things. You say, hey, I'm going to go down the street and visit my chiropractor or my personal trainer. And Inquisitors would put bodies in impossible positions. Well, we call it Inquisition. Nowadays, you call that yoga. Well, after the machines, I yogaed right over to the free weights. And you know, I've had a terrible time getting the 45-pound dumbbells home. You know, the free ones. That's as bad as dialing Roman numerals, isn't it? I had a terrible time getting home. Wouldn't I look suspicious leaving the gym? It's so hard. I'd be unbalanced. My ex would say, Lou, you've always been unbalanced. Ah! So I thought about putting one in each hand. But wouldn't it look suspicious leaving the gym with 2 gym bags? And I couldn't run. Let me see what's supposed to come next. Oh, yes.
Wait a minute, we're happy now. Just explain the joke to us.
Hey, the jokes are supposed to be coming from this end, not that end.
He's a little small.
Can another table match him?
My name's Bill.
Hey, Bill. A brand new name. I do plan to live a long time, though. On my 100th birthday, I plan to still be in the game. Oh, well, by then, I'm sure I won't know what game or what the score is. But you can bet I'll still be on the bottom. Just like the Cleveland Browns.
What would you say the Vikings?
Yeah, I could have. Yeah.
We got both of them.
On 33 days after my 100th birthday, I want to be here with you guys, bringing in the new year, 2042. Now, for me, it'll make about 960 million heartbeats. Now for some of you, for you young people, it'll be about 1 billion heartbeats. Especially if you forget to pull out.
Gotta get in first.
Did you people hear that smart aleck? He said you got to get in first. Now in Missouri, I have to say, if you forget devotions, in San Francisco, I have to say, if you forget to do your meditation, but I like your version better.
Thank you.
Went to, by this point I probably should introduce myself, tell you a little bit about myself. I'm from Phoenix, and on my travels to avoid confusion, I started going by Arizona Lou, about 30 years ago. And before 1912, when Arizona became a state, I went by Territory Lou. And before that, Caveman Lou. These keep coming. And they get worse. Before that, Ditch Lou. Told you they get worse. That was just a little ditch. And then after it grew, Grand Canyon Lou. This is sure a fun crowd. And before that, Jurassic Lou. Yeah, I'm so old, I know how to drive a stick shift. Anybody else? Raise your hand. Good. You're back there. I'm not talking about a boner.
I can drive that too.
I always like second or fourth.
I could just leave now. You people would have the rest of the night for fun. While we're on the subject, I did volunteer for a clinical study of Viagra in Virginia at the University of Longwood to help out with science. Gave me a really good feeling. I did expect it to be a lot harder. It was one of those double-blind studies. Even the researchers didn't know who was coming. They put us in hospital gowns, and we looked like Sheriff Joe's back in Phoenix, Sheriff Joe's tent city. I was the only one without a rigid tent pole. Imagine propping up your tent with one of those things you get from Dollar Tree, a fun noodle. It wasn't fun. It was embarrassing and not uplifting. Well, we were bored stiff. Except me, I was just bored. And we played Monopoly until one of the guys knocked all the pieces off the board. And our version of Happy Sack, well, we got kind of testy with that. Our version... Keep it coming. Our version of tag was Pokemon Go! I hated it. I didn't have a good poker. The other guys hated my favorite, Twister.
You all right?
You don't want to hear about our target practice. We appreciated it when the researchers gave us a shake break. They also gave us homework. One of the young guys says, "Hey, Doc, can we help each other out?" Well, let me look. Has to be hands-on. Self-service. No double headers. They didn't get that in New Jersey. But homework is when I learned that you don't need special expensive stuff. If you go to Dollar Tree and get their hairstyling gel. Good thing I was raised a Baptist. If I'd been a Catholic, after each session, I'd need confession. And I get a dishonorable discharge. Yep. The study didn't go quite as well as I hoped it would. I couldn't keep my eye on the ball. Well, make that plural. English majors. One of the doctors accused me of being a swinger. You got to keep them ventilated, you know. And I had to quit the study without giving them any bona fide data. But that's the way it goes.
We're not together.
I knew an old guy. Well, I didn't know him. I saw him. I was in the produce department. Just picked out some bananas. I know what you're thinking. You know, at my age, it's never more than a banana in the pocket. Or the anemometer. Well, up walked old Oscar. I don't know if that was his real name, but he certainly was a grouch. I said, "I hope you find some good ones, but you can't have these, they're mine." "Don't want them." "Do you like stand-up comedy?" "No." "Do you like to laugh?" "No." And I think he really was Oscar, because he was behind me in the checkout, and when I left, he said, "Good riddance." Well, I told you I wanted to live a long time, and I don't know how this is related, but I collect boxes. I save boxes. Let's hear by applause if you save boxes. All right. Because, yeah, that's because you read directions. Now the rest of you, if you read the instructions, it says save this box. So I've got boxes for an office chair, printer, a mother-in-law. I'm getting so many boxes I may have to move out into a box, which is going to be difficult with a mother-in-law. That's not true. I don't have a mother-in-law. She's dead. Hey. Did she die in a box? I don't know. But I'm dying. Well, you are too. Hopefully after I do. Oh, we lost. I was raised a middle child. And you know middle children have problems. Well, last year, only There were 3 of us.
Very honest.
But last year I was promoted, and now I'm the oldest because we lost my brother. Never did find him. We looked all over Kansas. I guess he forgot to click his heels together and say, "There's no place like home."
Couldn't find Toto?
Yeah. Stanley took lots of supplements, and now he has the healthiest prostate of anybody else in the Greenwood Cemetery. He was a real estate mogul, at least he thought he was. He had a duplex, and he agreed to let Billy move in exchange. Not that Billy. Ugly Billy. He agreed to let Ugly Billy move in.
Thanks, buddy.
In exchange for fixing up the place. Any landlords here? Anybody rent here? You're all afraid to ask and to respond now. Well, you know how that went. Billy moved in a carload of cockroaches. That's not funny and it's not true. It was worse. He moved in his girlfriend, Dawn. At least I think that's what was under all those tattoos. They were so wrinkled it was hard to tell. No wonder she was a chain smoker. Now, I don't know about that because I never smoked any chains. But she had a winning smile, if you count 3 teeth. They made a good cigarette holder. She could puff her way right through a Kansas tornado. That's when I learned about white trash. And I'm white trash too. The way I start my engine, is I have a wire coming out from under the hood, and I press a button by my speedometer, and my car starts. So I understand some of that stuff. Well, I do collect boxes. And have you ever noticed with death, we try to sugarcoat death? He says, hey, he's gone to greener pastures. He's gone to be with the Lord. My family's pretty sure I'm not in that category. 72 virgins pushing daisies. Well, I'm going to be pushing dandelions and weeds. Notice that was plural. That's an important distinction. Well, I don't know how I'm going to leave this world, but when I do, I want to be going as fast as I can. Having fun. I want my obituary in the newspaper to read something like, Arizona Lou died in an avalanche of boxes. Is anybody here into yoga? Let's hear it. Nobody's into yoga?
Bill.
Bill?
Yes.
Namaste. Now let me explain to you people that don't know about yoga. That's yoga speak for howdy, partner. I know about this yoga stuff because when I was off the coast of North Carolina on Hatteras Island, I took my first yoga class. Heather, our instructor, said, just relax. Well, she had us holding a 2x4. Now, Bill, you yoga types call that the plank position. That's like me telling you to relax with one foot at the dock and the other on the boat. I go down farther, but I'd hurt myself. And I don't have one of those buttons for, hey, I can't get up. Also, I might get the floor dirty. The hardest for me was the doggy style.
Oh, I like the plank position.
Well, the doggy style was tough on my arms. You yoga types call that the downward facing dog because you haven't yet invented the Gangnam style. But that wasn't all I had to hold. I had a pesky methane bubble that was determined to reach the atmosphere. Now, you yoga types call that a fart. With concerted effort, I was able to hold it. But I wasn't the only one. Someone let one escape. And I started to laugh until I realized that I was the only one. That's when I learned in yoga you gotta know when to hold them. Has anybody heard of kiteboarding? Kite surfing? It's you're on a wakeboard or surfboard, got a huge kite up in the air in the wind that's pulling you. There's no boat. I've got some links on my website, lots of videos about it, also about comedy. Speaking of my website, it's arizonalou.com, or you can just search for America's Favorite Old Man. I'll be number 1, and you might be number 2, sir.
Close to it.
Yeah. And check it out. There's no advertising. Everything there is free, good information. And so visit it. But I went kiteboarding on the East Coast, Hatteras Island. And also, I went kiteboarding in Maui for the wind. Well, unfortunately, we didn't have the usual wind. So I did a lot of SUP. That's SUP, stand-up paddleboarding. As opposed to what I do up here, suck. Come on, that's SUC, stand-up comedy. Why don't you give me a thumbs up on that one? You could have picked any joke with that one.
You can spell. I'm so happy.
Well, the hardest thing for stand-up paddleboarding for me, well, the first part that was hard was getting the board across the beach. And everything went pretty well until I got stuck in the sand with my little electric rascal scooter. So then I decided to hold the board sideways. And that went pretty well until I took out 2 kids. Bink, bink. Took out a mother breastfeeding a baby. Bink, boing, who was offending an old man until I took him out. Solved that social problem. Well, then I decided wasn't down to the water yet, decided to hold the board under my arm and use the handle. They shouldn't call it a handle. It wasn't big enough. They should have called it a fingal. Well, when I finally got the board down into the water, my challenge was to go from my knees to standing up. And it looked something like this. I should have had a walker. I did get a wave from a lifeguard. Hey, get out of here. This beach is closed to old men with big boards and little Speedos. But I really did catch a wave there on the Kailua Harbor. I rode that little wave 561 feet. My nurse never caught me. Well, going back home, flying Hawaiian Airlines, I got very well acquainted, you older guys know, with the airline bathrooms. And I declare, the engineers said, let's measure people and we'll make our bathrooms 3 inches smaller. And we'll curve the walls so when you go in, if you're a guy, you have to stand like this to be in position. And we'll make the water faucets so when you press them, there's no delay, so you know you're not going to get your hands under in time.
Yeah.
Sort of like you know you're not going to get there in time last time you had diarrhea. And you ladies laugh at the darndest things. And then we'll make the paper towel holders with a strong spring and the openings smaller or narrower than the paper towels so that you're guaranteed to get confetti. And then we'll make the waist door with a strong spring so they'll blow that confetti back in your face. And then we'll make the doors open in, which means you have even less space than you started with. Oh yes, if you're one of the young guys, you're really out of space if you go in there and get a boner. Accidentally, of course. Because the door opens in, you have to touch the place that everybody else has touched after they've touched their stuff. And of course they remind you, pull, so you have to do that. And for me it looks something like this. Ladies, I just raised the seat and you didn't say anything. And I wouldn't have had to because I'm in this bathroom by myself. Nobody would have known. Besides, it's an imaginary bathroom. So I'm going to raise the seat again and I want to hear something from you ladies. Thank you very much. Every show, almost every show, I have one guy that applauses too, but not this one. That's because you guys are cool.
Hey, George.
Oh yes, and then finish the job. You can't rush a good thing, you know. You'll have to change this visual if you're a lady or gay. Have you ever noticed the flush is so violent the toilet paper blows in the wind? Not that kind of wind. And oh, yes, sir, it was the person before me. That's the smell. So that airline. My next one was the Outer Banks. I already told you about going to the Outer Banks kiteboarding, and we had fun there. And after that, let's hear it if you've ever done anything really stupid by applause. Let's hear if you've done anything stupid by applause. Those people back there, you guys are liars back there. That's why you're sitting at the back, as far back as you can get. We know you guys. Well, I went kiteboarding in the Dominican Republic. That wasn't the stupid part. After 3 days of excellent kiteboarding, I did something really stupid. SUP, stand-up paddleboarding. And just about lost these 3 fingers. And what happened is I paddled across a little bay, stepped off the board, and I saw a little wave going to come in and take my board from me. So I grabbed a little rope at the back of the board and held on tight. I says, I can win this bout with Mother Nature. Well, the wave slammed the board while I was still trying to hold it. And I won. I still had the board, but not on my hand. I also won a trip to the emergency room in the Dominican Republic. I knew I was in trouble when I looked down and saw my index finger dangling by some skin and 2 other broken fingers. you ladies will appreciate I didn't break one fingernail. So I decided to quit sup for the day. And to get some help, I used my extensive Spanish vocabulary. Emergencia. Young guy put my board to be safe so I could go out to the road and hitchhike into town. And I couldn't even do that right with my hand. The first car passed me by. They just waved at me. They Buenas tardes. Well, would you stop for a guy wearing nothing but a wet black hat, little wet red blood, little wet black Speedos? Well, the second car did stop. He knew the way to the emergency room, but I couldn't see going to the emergency room with my current clothes on. So I remember what my mom said. You remember what your mom said? Always wear clean clothes in case you have to go to the emergency room. So we stopped by my hotel. I put on a grubby t-shirt. That's the only thing that was handy. Mother would not have been proud. And then I put on my cargo shorts over my wet swim trunks. That was stupid and embarrassing when the guy that picked me up had to zip me up because I only had one hand. If I had more time, I would have put on clean t-shirt, clean dry underwear. Mom would have been proud until finding out that the old guy would have to tuck me in just right. Never left. Oh, when we got to the hospital, the nurse just handed me my hospital gown. She didn't speak any English. Handed me my hospital gown and just stood there. Well, I motioned to the door, and she indicated that I should take off everything, and she was going to stand there and watch and make sure I did. Also make sure I had everything, well, except maybe a foreskin. When I got discharged from the hospital late the next day, my hand all bandaged, I rode back to my hotel in the back of a little motorcycle. They call them motor conchos down there. I felt silly doing that with my bad hand until I saw my surgeon on another motorcycle riding back. So back in the hotel, I could still use my hand. I could change TV channels, made a good hat rack. I could do the wave. I'm not Elizabeth. But unfortunately, I couldn't, and I still can't make a tight fist and keep my center finger erect. Hopefully by summer I'll be able to do that so I have the proper equipment to drive when I get to New York City.
Yeah.
I really enjoy being here. And let's see if there's anything else I want to talk to you about. I had voice surgery, and it's embarrassing on the telephone. Now, you know I have a weak voice, that's why I haven't turned up the PA system. Well, can you hear me okay? Yeah. It's embarrassing when I answer the phone and I say, hello? May I please speak to the man of the house? I am the man. Or worse yet, hello? Are your parents home? Yes. They told me in life to earn everything. So I put them up on the mantle. In their urns. You English majors got that one. Like I said, I really enjoyed it here. You people are great. Thank you for participating. And like my doctor tells me, Arizona Lou, you're out of time. Thank you very much. Stop by and look at the t-shirts if you want to, or just say hi. You don't have to buy anything.